Welcome to the ExoDexa podcast. I'm Dr. Leah Haynes, and I am here with Nolan Bushnell, and we want to talk about the impact of AI in education. Nolan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm always fascinated by people who say we should regulate AI, when the right question is, can we regulate AI? And I think the answer is no. but that's a whole nother story. AI is a tool that I think can accelerate not just output, but quality. And, man can't run as fast as a cheetah, but on a bicycle, he can. So are we depreciating the value of the motion of a cheetah? Not at all. But our tools allow us to become superhuman. AI, I think, is that same thing for our minds. Are we diminished as a human being, or are we elevated as a human being? And I think that instead of worrying about AI and kids cheating by having AI do their homework, I think kids should learn how to use it and use it effectively and use it well. My son, who's writing software, says that it has speeded his development by 3 times, 3x. So a year's worth, 3 years of work now can be truncated into a year. That's really important. And so we should never eschew using that kind of power.
I agree with you. And this generation of students will have access to AI for the rest of their lives. So let's teach them how to use it. Let's embrace it as a tool that they have for research. And if what we care about is what they've learned from the experience, then we can adopt other ways of measuring what they learned from the paper that AI wrote for them. It does level the playing field for those of us who are dyslexic and who have trouble with the writing process, and the two of us among that group. It gives the second language learners, it helps there. But if we think of it as a good research tool, and if we want the students to understand the material, then we have them present their papers instead of just handing them in. And we know in the presentation, they can't read their paper as their presentation. They have to tell you what they've put in their paper. And you can't do that without having learned it. So it's the big argument when audio books first came out, and people said, well, that's not really reading, that's listening. Well, taking in information through your eyes or your ears, why would one be more impactful or more important than another? And I think the argument over calculators are going to impact the way, kids aren't going to know math anymore because they'll have calculators. Well, the kids who weren't going to know math weren't going to know math with or without a calculator. It's just allowed the kids who weren't going to be good at math to catch up in some ways. And we still are, it's radio and television. Oh no, with television, radio will disappear. Well, we didn't lose radio. So I think it's foolish to try and ban it, and we know there's a strike going on currently. And part of that strike is to ban the use of AI by the studios. I mean, it is sort of a Luddite question, isn't it? I mean, and I think that your point to, we would be limiting these kids' future if we don't let them engage with AI.
And help them understand the things that AI can do and the things that can't. Like, for example, I think that one of the arguments against AI is that bad actors will use AI and learn how to manipulate thought of others in a democracy. And, I think that politicians have been doing that for 100 years, but not using AI. You know, what's the old joke? You know, we were looking for intelligent life, but we didn't find it in Washington.
Well, then how many of us have been using AI all along? I live with AI. I have Alexa and Siri, who are my assistants, and they set timers for me. They make sure I get to meetings on time, and they collect recipes. They do all kinds of things for me. AI is really just an expanded version of that, isn't it?
Well, I listen to podcasts on my smart speaker, and and the same thing. I've got all kinds of light switches that are. In fact, I've got enough light switches that occasionally I want to turn a light on and I forget what the command was.
Well, there is that issue, isn't there?
Well, you know, we did a game called Saint Noir using the Amazon Echo, and it was a board game murder mystery, and I had so much fun creating that. And I think that today's kids have all these tools, and what better use for a tool than to create fun, you know? And it's okay to learn chemistry and physics and all that, but I think also there's a huge market for just great fun. And in fact, I write very poorly. I would have never graduated from college if I didn't have somebody correcting my papers. But I'm a pretty good storyteller. And so I I've been playing with AI, and I think I might write another novel, uh, and let AI do the prose, and I will just direct it with ideas. And so it will be, and and then the question will be, do I have to list AI as my co-author?
Yeah, AI may not be as insistent as I was.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think that's it for today. And I think, as Nolan likes to say, we are here to recruit you. We want you to join us in this mission. We are not just trying to tweak education. We are really trying to change education to make it student focused and have kids showing up for their education because they're motivated and excited to be there. And we want you to take part. So please join us in this mission.
And we're going to have our beta release this fall. So we want you to log in, play with our stuff, critique our stuff, applaud our stuff, or basically just be part of this journey.